Karibuni sana to this and that. It's always good to see you every Thursday. We thank you for your viewership and your comments on the previous book, The Caucasian Chalk Circle. So in this week's episode, you're doing something different. We're going to play a game. You get to know us through the books that we read, our personal experiences. And I'm here with my panel members. And our outside the set is our patron. Wait, are you our patron?
No.
Is a lecturer and also a friend to the podcast because he always provides input. He's called Mr. Musabkali. So my members, introduce yourselves and let's get this going.
My name is Ajuma. Today we have a new guest on set. Yeah, we can't wait to pick his mind.
Okay, interesting. Hi guys, my name is Wanyama. I am happy to be here.
Hi guys, my name is Achiki. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I want to know you guys through the books you read. So I'm going to ask you some sort of random questions, and then from there,
Don't make them hard though.
yeah, sure. From there, I'll get to understand. Actually, I judge people by the books they read.
Yeah, me too.
So
I totally
yeah,
understand.
so let's start with your all-time favorite book by any author.
Message in the Bottle by Nicholas Spark.
Okay, interesting.
Why is it your favorite book?
The romance in it, it's mature romance.
Oh my goodness,
And
hopeless romantic. A hopeless romantic.
Very. And then the methods of writing, because I love epistolary and I love poetry.
Okay.
So anywhere that the two are combined for me, it's home.
Oh, nice.
My all-time favorite book. I have a lot of favorite books, but the book that gave me sleepless nights was a book by a writer called A.B. Whelan. It's called 14 Days to Die.
Oh, 14 Days to Die.
That book really gave me sleepless nights. After reading that book, I had to take a break.
What's the genre of the book?
It's marriage. Okay.
Marriage is a genre.
It is not.
Okay,
It explains marriage setting. If I tell you the agenda of the book, I'll describe the whole book here, but I want some of you to go and read it.
Okay.
So I'll not spoil it for you.
Okay,
Just
sure.
point fingers at me. My favorite book is The Echelon Vendetta. I don't know if it's Echelon or Echelon, but something Vendetta. It's by David somebody. Yeah, I like it because I like action. It's an action novel.
Okay, it's a thriller.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So my all-time favorite, in case you asked, my all-time favorite is by Junot Diaz. It's called by Junot Diaz, The Wanderer's Life of Oscar Wilde. That book is amazing. It's a page turn.
What is
Well,
the agenda of the book?
it's a lot of things. Yeah, it's a lot of things, but Junot really tries to talk about his life. His life, yeah. But in a very creative, in a very mysterious way. I like the way he packages his content. You will want to read more and more. Yeah, but then you guys, you should really look out for Junot Diaz. But the book is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted.
Why did you say that?
Because it's a bit complex. It's a bit
in
complex.
Terms of
I have
language,
in terms of language, everything. I have tried to recommend the book to my friends, but they always end up leaving it in the middle.
And your
Nobody
friends
actually
don't
have-
know English?
No, it's not really about that. Well, I think it's a book for writers. If you're a writer, then that is a book for you. Yeah.
So I've just learned that there are titles that I need to read. I have read 14 Days to Die. Was it in
She agrees with
2021? I do agree that it's very intense. And then one of the things that I picked from it, I think it's our next book for next week, 14 Days to Die. Go find it. We'll tell you the author later. And probably send you a link to an e-publication. It's some of the mistakes that we make as people and how they come to affect us later. They're very small decisions that we make, the kind of friends we keep around us, the people we get married to. Is that have you married?
Anyway.
But yeah, that is one of the most intriguing aspects. That is a new book to me, and it's also a new book to me. So now I have 2 new titles on my shelf.
Wow. You have mentioned something about a link to a new book. Did you guys hear the news that the libraries is down?
I know.
I feel like we are
We're
suffering.
Yeah,
Bookwormers out here, we are suffering. I feel like that's the end of us. Anyway, yeah, but long live hard copy books.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
The book that I want to buy right now is going for 3,000
But
shillings.
books are very expensive.
I know,
by the
I
way.
know.
We need to
Knowledge
talk about
is not cheap.
we need to talk about the cost of books.
The hard copy books. I think one of the reasons I don't have a collection of them is because I would really love to support authors. I use e-copy books, but I would really like to support authors.
Yeah.
But there is no way in the planet I'm buying a book that goes for 3,000 at this time of the economy.
You know what I do is I have like 3 books that are mine that I bought with my own money. Yeah. So what I do is I exchange with people. Those 3 books, they're my life.
Wow.
So I exchange with people. Then yeah, that is what I do so that Mrs. spend pesa mingi.
What about you that has hard copy library?
Well,
Whether
it's
you
not
have-
really a library. It's just a small collection of books. Wow, I wish you saw the library you want to have in my head. Wow. But yeah, I'm getting there. I also do the same. I have friends who have books, and I mean books. Wow. So I just borrow from them.
Can I be your friend?
Friends.
I have 2 books,
You
but
have
they are
2
classics.
Yeah.
And
Classics like Victoria.
No,
Yeah.
they're written by the lady Mayor, Grace Mayer.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was gifted by a pastor, and I have read through it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
If someone is interested in that kind of literature, I would be a good book friend.
oh, nice, nice.
Me, I don't have any.
What's wrong? Why don't you have books? You seem like a
Because
book.
I have books in...
When
Just because I wear spectacles doesn't mean I'm a bookworm.
it could mean you're a nerd.
It just means that her eyes are bad.
Yeah, I have very bad eyesight. I have books in my phone. So,
Okay.
see, support you through reading on the phone.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Okay.
So, I want to know, we don't have very many female authors in Africa. But before we go to that, like, I just want to know your favorite female authors from anywhere, from across the globe, and then from Africa.
And why?
Yeah, and why did you settle on those authors? So let's begin from this side this time.
I'm sure you think I'm going to say Colin Hoover, but I like Ella May.
Okay.
She's written her favorite book,
Her favorite.
my favorite
Okay,
book by her, is Marriage for One. I know how it sounds. I know how it
Why
sounds.
are you justifying? No,
But I like her because the way she packages her work. Like me and her relate with the way she communicates. Yeah, her thoughts and mine kind of are on the same page.
Okay, interesting.
And next,
Yeah.
my favorite female writer has to be Amanda Gorman, the poet. I love poetry because in our first episode I said I love poetry because it is easy to read. It's very quick to read. A lot of things, like you have a lot of knowledge in a short amount of time. Yeah, so I still stand by what I said.
So favorite is a strong word because for you to choose a favorite, you need to have read a couple of them. I don't know what is the name of this. I wish we had our phone so that we could Google A Long Way From Home. It's a very long poetry book, but the
A
book
Long
is
Way From
A
Home.
Long Way From Home.
I think I've heard it.
Maya Angelou. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, Maya Angelou.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would pick Maya Angelou for her poetry, and then Adichie because I've read a couple of her books.
Okay.
And my favorite book by Colin Hoover is Confess.
Confess.
And I will tell you why.
Okay.
Tell us.
Tell us.
You want to know? Tell us why.
Tell
I was
us why.
thinking that if there is any group of mental health campaigns in Moi, they should adopt the Confess approach.
True.
Whereby no names, nothing, just
Just
anonymous notes, just confess. You know, like those podcasts and those people that do anonymous therapists,
Yeah.
and you hear stories of people and you're like, hold on, are we in an alien planet?
Let's give them a rundown of that book. like a 1
I have
minute
not read
rundown of
that
the
Yeah,
book.
Yeah.
It's about this guy
Convince me.
who owns an art shop. Is it an art shop?
Yeah, it's an action.
An art shop. So in the door, at the door, what is
On the
wrong
door.
with me? there is a place hapo kwa mlango. They put the random people come and put their confessions, and then he picks the confessions and makes artwork out of the confession. And he sells it. It's really cute.
So,
Wow.
I think I'm going. I'll
You're
go
going
back.
to do it?
Let's go back to
I'm
reading
hooked.
Colin's
I'm
book.
hooked.
I'll send you the book.
I'm going back to reading Colin's
But
book.
yeah, I think
Why
like-
Chimamanda though? Why?
Chimamanda, there is this book that I read, The Purple Hibiscus, and I am always. Are our parents watching this? I read it and I realized how strict sometimes you're brought up in the African way, the way Christianity is taught to us, and then you go out into the world and realize, okay, now I have to discover Christianity on my own. So it's one of those aspects that came out strongly, and the way they're being brought up in routine, very strict and very confined ways, and then you go to the world and realize this world does not operate on a routine. It does not care if you have a plan. If life is hard, it's just hard. And simply because your father and your mother brought you up in this cocoon, and then in those homes where the father is like
It's
has
sort of
the say, it's
patriarchy.
very
Yeah.
patriarchal.
Yeah.
What happens to the girls that grow up in that society, and what happens if the girls are vocal? Are they bad children or they're just vocal? So yeah, it made me realize that sometimes there are things that there are ripple effects to colonization that we still feel up to today. So yeah, I just like the fact that it was intriguing and it was very wide.
Do you
Wow.
think you
Catchy
like
guys.
it because it relates to you?
Huh.
I was actually going to ask the same question. Yeah, but I've read Purple Hibiscus. It's actually a good read. I will recommend. It's actually the second, my all-time favorite among Chimamanda's books. Yeah, the rest.
What's the first?
The first is Half a Yellow Sun. Wow. Half a Yellow Sun is, yeah. And then Purple Hibiscus, and then the rest follow in
We're
no
getting
particular
content
order.
from next
Yeah, getting
episode.
content.
That's
Yeah, in no particular order. So my favorite female author will have to be across the globe. It will have to be Jhumpa Lahiri. Yeah, but I'm stuck between Jhumpa Lahiri and Edwidge Danticat. But
What are those names?
I'm about
but
to ask you for
you
this
guys
question.
should read Jhumpa Lahiri. You should, man, make it.
Are you going to send us those books?
Yeah, I'm going to send you the
Yeah.
list. And mwandike kwa bucket list. You should not die before you read
The
this
to
book.
be read books.
Yeah, to be read. But one of my all-time favorite from Jhumpa Lahiri is The Namesake. It's a short story. Yeah, and then she has written another one. It's called Interpret of Maladies, which is my current read. And then what's the other one? Lowland. Yeah, you should read those books.
So, you know what's going through my mind?
Mhm.
There was a time in secondary we were told that sometimes people will lie to you that they are not reading, but people are reading. I am so surprised because
He doesn't look like he does that.
I know.
I think he does because I've read his poetry, and
You haven't?
yeah, I have.
Oh.
Okay, but
You have
yeah,
a link
you know
you
a
can share?
writer.
Yes,
You know a writer.
link is in the
that-
bio. Yeah. Okay.
We have seen
interesting.
his work,
Which work specifically?
his script.
Oh.
And you can attest to that there is some knowledge and some work that goes into it. So yeah, when you read, it shows in how you talk, how you discuss, and how you argue. See, kila saa you say,
Manze.
what do
Wow.
you
True,
mean?
true.
You're
I also happen to think that the kind of books we read are aligned with our personalities, and we read them because we feel like they reflect who we are. Yeah, true. So, having mentioned that, which is the one book you read and you felt like this was a personal story for you? Doesn't have to be a big author. It can even be an article. It is the one thing you read and you felt like this was me.
Mimi, I've never read a book that I've related to that point,
Mhm.
but an article I have.
Uh-huh.
There's an article. There's a time I offered to edit articles for Maria.
Okay.
Then there's, I'm about to overshare here. there was this girl who had written about grief.
Okay.
She had just explained everything, like
She's the girl, by the way. The article is on our Facebook page.
I'm not the one. I'm not the one who wrote about it.
Oh.
like, oh, she was grieving.
Edited the
Uh-huh.
book.
She had written her experience on grief, and I was like, this is exactly how I felt when this. I was there crying instead of editing. You guys. Yeah, I think.
To that.
Yeah.
So which one is the one time that you felt like this was actually me?
2 books by
Mhm.
one author.
Mm-hmm.
Colin
Queen.
Cooper.
I felt,
I don't know. Ugly Love and the one we discussed.
It ends with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask me why.
Wow,
I don't
hopeless.
wanna-
I'm surrounded by hopeless romantic. Okay.
Okay, so I'm thinking that if you're a deep person and you have a lot of aspects in life,
Yeah.
there is no one book that would ever speak to you directly, but there is one thing you read and you realize. So it's normal to be sad. And then there is one that will
So this
realize.
happens to a lot of people.
Yes, because if someone wrote about it, it's probably happened. So yeah, depending on like the different times in life, I can't say that there has been one particular book that I felt, but each and every book, I have picked something from it because there is a book called Silence is My Mother Tongue.
Okay.
Yeah, like
By who?
I'm not sure. I don't have my phone. It's soft copy, but that is the title. Silence is my mother tongue. It was recommended to me by a friend. You'll see, like there are times you're going through so much in life, you don't even have anything to say.
True.
Like you just go through life quietly because that is the
That's what
only
I
language
do.
that is the only. So sometimes silence is the only language that can speak to us all.
Wow,
Mhm.
interesting,
that's
interesting. Okay, actually, I haven't really read a book that I felt like this was me, but I have read a book, and when I closed the last page, I felt like my life was never going to be the same. I felt like my life was never going to be the same again. Like I was now getting back to the real world that I didn't want to. I was hooked. So it was a thriller. I had finished. I just finished high school.
That is what the
Do you
Echelon
ever like
Vendetta did
you
to me.
actually finish a book and then you ask yourself, how am I
What now?
supposed to live now?
Yeah, how am I supposed to live after this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was by an author called Steve Callaghan. Yeah, it's about it was a thriller. The title was 13.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, I have read 13.
Wow, that book has hooked me. Alafu, it has a sequel. It has a sequel, and it was about it's about law, and I wanted to do law at that time, so I felt like this is actually the kind of lawyer I wanted
Like
to be.
the jury
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, the jury story. Yeah, like Suits. Actually, yeah, like
How to
Suits,
Get
like
Away with
Lincoln Lawyer, such kind of movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and John Grisham books, kind of.
Yeah,
John
John
Grisham-
Grisham
John
is also
Grisham
very
was my
amazing,
favorite.
especially in lawyer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in law. So I read that book and I didn't want to go back to life. I felt after I had closed the last page, I felt like my life was never going
This
to be the
book
same
on
again.
John Grisham, the Rooster Bar.
Yeah.
How
Wow.
campus friendships kind of blossom into something big.
What are you
in
guys
life.
talking about?
Go read.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John
you should
Grisham
read
was my
John
favorite.
Grisham.
Was my favorite.
You can
writer
borrow
from high
John
school.
Grisham from
A
me.
lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See now, I found someone
Now
to
we are
exchange
bonding
books
over.
with.
Okay.
I wanted to ask.
Uh-huh.
So mnataka nitoke kwa hii set ama?
Okay, there's something I wanted to ask, but I've forgotten. I look at you guys.
So there's
I'll
a.
remember the
Uh-huh.
thing.
So we like I mentioned before, earlier that we have very few female writers in Africa who are prominent, and I feel like their work is not being put out there because we actually have potential. Because I'm sitting right next to very good writers, but we don't really feel the presence of female writers apart from Chimamanda. Actually, most of them who are not with us anymore are the ones who are prominent. The ones who are prominent right now and they're still with us are very few. And Chimamanda. And I feel like it will come to a point where her content will be, yeah. We need more writers who write about different stuff.
I have a friend who's an author. Her book is on Booknet. It's called Haze. Have you guys read it?
Yes.
It's also another book that really covers the struggles that teenagers go through. So yeah, we'll put the link on the bio. It's called Haze by Favor. How yeah.
You don't know your friend's name?
I struggle pronouncing
That's
it.
them.
How it's Favor How yeah. She's a budding author, and I think tagging her and also telling her that we see you and we see what you write would make another
And
female
we are
author.
rooting for you as a female
And
author.
we're rooting for you as a female author. We want to hear what you have to say.
But we're also not saying if you're a guy and you write, we don't know about you yet, so we'll give you a shout out.
We'll give you a shout out.
Child representative.
Yeah, really, I will always speak for you guys.
Okay.
Wow, interesting. So it's, having mentioned that, like, who are some of the writers, female writers you read growing up, and they really, shaped who you are at the
Growing
moment?
up, I didn't think I was reading anything to shape who I was.
Wow.
I was just reading because of school, first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's fun, because I just want to entertain myself.
You see, the funny thing, you actually, once you are ahead, that's when you can join the dots. There are some books you read and you don't really think they have an impact on you until you make a decision in life and you actually apply. Yeah. So, what is that one book for you?
Well, let's be honest that it's only until recently that I'm beginning to differentiate and identify between male and female authors.
Okay.
Most of the time I would remember a title, I would remember the concept, but rarely do I remember an author unless I read a series or a couple of their books. I can discover. But I read Danielle Steele at some point. Danielle Steele, I don't know how I forgot Danielle, but she's one of the authors that I read mostly in high school. And there was a particular woman character that she really focused on. I wish I could remember her name. I don't know if it's Whitney. Their con game and how the woman was the brain of everything. I mean, it was the wrong thing, but it made me realize that if you think and if you're smart enough as a woman, there is no room you cannot enter and break its barriers and its doors. So she used a character that was playing a long con. You know, and then I came to realize that there is no crime syndicate or there is nothing that can go on if there is no woman at the top. Because women can go anywhere. A woman can walk into a boardroom. A woman is very malleable and very flexible. You know, if I see a man, my mind goes danger. But if I see a woman, I'm like, she looks calm, she looks quiet,
she could kill you.
she's harmless, and she has a revolver on her waist. So I realized how flexible and how malleable a woman can be, and there is no space you cannot enter. For the simple fact that you're a woman.
Okay, interesting. Okay, before we jump into feminism, because I'm saying this conversation could easily go there.
Why are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid.
It will be nice.
You're afraid.
I'm not afraid. I'm just afraid that this conversation will not.
And will do what it's intended.
Yeah,
You
it
You
can
don't
be,
like
it can
feminism?
be
Look
physical.
at this conversation is about.
No, don't go.
Okay,
let's not go there. Talk to us.
What is the question?
Your favorite author, growing up, female African author.
Female African
Hey.
author. I don't put me on the spot like that. I don't have a favorite African female author, but I'll tell you an author whose work shaped what?
The way you think.
Shaped the way I think and my decisions. So last year I was heartbroken. Not really heartbroken. Then I came across a book by, her name is Bianca. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to mispronounce her second name. Bianca Sparacino.
Oh, she's Italian.
I don't know. I didn't research about her. I just
Saracino sounds Italian.
Sparacino.
I like Italian.
Yeah.
Me, I don't know.
I can't remember the
Like
title
to
of the
see.
book, but it had lessons on things like relationship, how to handle relationships, having standards, what you get, things like that. So right now,
you are equipped.
it will be so hard. But it really helped me. It also showed me,
It's not your fault.
like healing. It's good to heal, and it's not my fault. Okay.
We asked
Objectivity, but
ourselves that it's not your fault.
yeah, I had a meeting with myself and
You
discussed. We agreed that I'm not
blame.
I'm not the one who is supposed to carry all that blame because I'm perfect. Yeah.
Because you're perfect.
So that book, it really taught me a lot.
She believes, so she is.
You are
Interesting.
Oh, me? Okay. A book that has shaped the way I think.
Yeah.
It's not by a woman.
It's
Okay. It's okay.
It's by a very famous writer, Robert Greene.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How was
You
it?
should
The Art
How
of
you think?
Seduction. Sorry.
The Art of
I could figure out that was coming.
The Art of Seduction.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
very
It's
interesting
an
book.
interesting book.
Yeah.
It's not fictional, so
It's a self.
you could read.
Speaking of, do you guys read self-help?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
your favorite self-help book?
Well, I don't have a favorite per se, but
Okay.
my last month's read was Atomic Habits by James Clear.
I've tried to read
James-
that book.
James Clear.
Oh.
Yeah.
I tried nilisoma
Wow, that book is
the
amazing.
first part,
Mm.
nikaachia hapo kwanza.
Wow. You
I
should-
don't know the reason,
I feel like what
but I just,
you should
maybe
actually-
I felt like I was not in the right headspace.
Mhm.
Like, I like
That
to
could
read
happen.
when I'm reading, I love my, not sikusomea exam.
Mm.
Kusoma, when I'm reading a book, actually an exam, I need 100% concentration, and I need to have close to zero problems to think about. So I just stopped and come back to it later.
There is only one reason I don't read self-help books.
Uh-huh.
Maybe unless you go and listen. Is Robert Greene a self-help book?
Yeah.
I have read 48 Laws of Power, The Fault in Our
That's
Stars.
another good
Mhm.
book.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't call them self-help because, like the Art of Seduction, it does not mean seduction.
Yeah.
It just means pulling people to your side without
It
having
helps you
much
manipulate
effort.
energies.
And Robert Greene
Mm,
writes
okay.
so many a lot of manipulative
psychological
books. We need to
manipulation.
study him.
Yeah.
We need to, even 48 Laws of
Yeah,
Power.
it's a
Eh,
good
Yeah.
one.
But
Very-
you see, the
It
thing,
helps you
Mhm.
maneuver life.
Yeah,
And it
That's the
puts,
good
in a
thing
very
about books.
manipulative way.
it puts you
Hey,
in a position to
you.
know that you hold,
Like
you hold the power
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
you can shift energies
Mm.
and you can shift people to either like you and to either dislike you,
Mm.
and it helps you know that you can do anything.
You're
And
the-
there-
you're the
there
it
is
person.
no powerful thing than
there is
knowing
no one above
I
you.
can do this.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't read self-help because my life in itself is a self-help book.
Uh-huh.
Because no, let's just
Yeah.
put it that way.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think.
But they're
You
good.
don't think you
Sometimes
do?
they help you see
Yeah.
things.
In a different
In a
light.
different light.
Well, I read both actually. I don't know why, but I feel like there's one thing about books. If anything has ever happened under the sun, which we say nothing new has ever happened under the sun, then it was written in a book.
down.
Mm.
No, and I feel like books will give you that advantage. You make like a quantum jump. Someone, you're eventually going into these spaces where these people have been, and they will help you to maneuver when you are there because they have been there and they have understood the experience. And I also feel like if you are struggling with something, there's probably a book written about it. If then you have a problem making social connections and building social networks, then probably how the Art of Seduction is a good read for you.
How
If
to
you-
win over anyone.
Yeah, if you're having
Yeah.
problem with finances, then maybe another book on finances like Rich Dad Poor Dad can be a good book for you.
We can do
Yeah.
a book on
Speaking of-
financial literacy.
Speaking
True,
of
yeah.
self-help books,
Yeah.
This book really helped me change the way I think. I was like I read this book. It's by Ariana Huffington, the owner of Huffington Post. Yeah, it's called On Being Fearless. I randomly ran into it in 2020.
Yeah.
That time I was heartbroken. Again.
Heartbreak has done you a good one.
I was
Testimony. This is a
It's-
testimony.
like in 2019, like before I read that book, I would not be doing this. Like I was not a risk taker at all. Me, I would
I can
quit.
attest
I
to how
would
you
quit day
changed.
one. Maybe stress me one day to I'm out. But after I read that book, it changed the way I approach things, relationships, my life, career, vitu ka hizo.
Yeah.
Another
It taught
good
me fearlessness.
self-help book is 101 Essays that will change
Mhm.
the way you think.
Mhm.
They're good essays. They're short essays. that-
For those people that don't like long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
AKA me.
That's also another good book.
So we can all attest that, like, at some point in life, the books do come in, and sometimes they are decisions that you don't know how to make them because your parents brought you up to a certain point. Because I usually tell people that right now my parents are meeting a stranger.
Yeah.
True.
Like, respectfully speaking, they're meeting
Yeah.
a stranger. They are meeting someone who thinks differently about money, about life, about relationships, about marriage, and our ideas are not even the same. So sometimes you even end up going quiet. But then I've realized that it's because of I have read, I have watched podcasts, I have listened to other people. But also just be careful. Find your own person and find your own voice, because there are so many voices speaking to people right now. What you should expect from a man, what should be, you should like. There is
Those are
so
some
much
of the
garbage
worst content on the internet. This is how to make him love you. Hey.
Yeah,
Focus on yourself, baby
Leave
girl.
me alone.
I agree, and actually it's one of the things Gibran says. He tells people he encourages people to read books, but he tells them,
Find them.
yeah,
Find your voice.
no, be a student and not a follower.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you read a book, it's not meant now what if after reading
you
Robert
say
Kiyosaki,
this,
then I'm now Robert Kiyosaki.
saying,
Yeah, it's supposed to
Mold your
shape
own
your
path.
values, and we need to also build our own values so that to approach a book, it does not really change.
Everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't brainwash
I have a
you.
friend who read Sapiens. There's a book called Sapiens, and now he's an atheist.
So if you read the Da Vinci Code,
You shouldn't be, Yeah. I also I have some Da Vinci Code, but that you would also need to establish your own principles, belief system, and values,
so that you don't get
so that you don't
brainwashed
get
by books
brainwashed
and
by
everything.
books.
Yeah.
Because they have the power.
They do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They
I can
totally
attest
have
to
the
that.
power.
When if I say this on camera, there is this book that I read, The Power of the Pussy.
Oh yeah, I've also read it. I've also read it.
And I reevaluated a certain relationship that I was in. I was like, you know what? Can't do, won't do. And I walked
I'm
out
out.
because
Yeah.
that is the first
I'm
time
smiling
I
because I
realized,
know what relationship that is.
I realized how powerful a book is. That was the first time it hit me that if I don't know who I am and what
Yeah.
I'm doing,
You will lose
I'm gonna
yourself.
be swayed by each and
Yeah.
everything that I read.
Yeah.
So that is the first time that I acknowledged that, wait, hold up. Did we just make a decision based
Based
on
on
a
a
book
book.
that we
Without the, yeah. So
I've
don't
never-
don't let it
I can
be
attest
the
that it
gospel
has power.
truth.
Mhm.
Yeah, and besides, people, we're also saying that we don't really have books, but you can start with the most basic book, the 66 books. The good book, people. You should start with the good book. It's actually, I feel like, it's also a book a lot of people assume, but a book is a book. Yeah, and it has 66
It actually
of them.
enlightens.
Yeah, it
Right.
actually enlightens. And most of these authors when you're, who are writing actually start with the Bible. Ask anyone, ask any famous author, and the Bible is probably on the top 5.
You feel like
Yeah.
in the acknowledgement, I would
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
thank God. I mean, if you didn't read the Bible,
Yeah,
it's
because
not
it
really
also has a lot of opinion on certain things. Yeah, but you also have to be open-minded
Yeah,
again.
yeah, sure.
So I think we have come to the end.
We have come to the end of this episode. Next week we'll be doing 14 Days to Die by A.B. Whelan.
Okay.
I was told to read the book, so
She refused.
Yeah.
So now she
It's your
doesn't have a
assignment for
choice.
the week.
Yeah.
And next week we're doing.
We'll
Go
do
and
that.
find that book. It's online. The library is down, but we don't know how to help
There
you.
was
But
another one we used, Juicy.
Any books
It's
is working?
I've seen
let me check.
PDF drive is working. You can download it
Finally,
in EPUB
PDF.
format.
Okay.
I've tried.
Yeah.
I've done it once. I don't know if you can. You can also try it. Yeah,
Wow.
14 Days to Die by A.B. Whelan. We'll be discussing. Hey,
Go
we'll be discussing it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you then.
Wow. What I want for my birthday, and I know what they want for their birthdays. This is a way for you guys
Yeah.
to increase your library, to expand your library. Give them books.
Yes. Give me
Give your
books.
friend.
by the way.
Give me books.
Give me
Give
books
your
for my
friends books.
birthday.
Yeah, and coffee.
Give me
survival-
money.
Give them
Coffee
survival
survival
juice.
juice.
I don't take coffee.
She takes me
Cut.
Tea.